I call to order this joint regular meeting of the Mayor and City Council, and the Mayor and City Council acting as the successor agency to the redevelopment agency of the City of San Bernardino. I'd like to ask all of those who are in attendance to please silence your cell phones and any other electronics and refrain from creating any disruptive sounds. At this time, I'd like to invite Reverend David McLaughlin from St. Paul's United Methodist Church to come forward to lead us in the invocation. If you would please all stand.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, officials, and members of the community. I would like to thank the Council for inviting me here to lead the invocation. Would you please join me in an attitude of prayer? Most gracious and loving God, giver of life, it is with a grateful heart that we gather this day to give voice to our concerns, advocate for our projects, and make decisions about the future well-being of those who live in San Bernardino. We thank you for the people who are willing to step forward into the political arena and fight for their ideas and visions for this city. Lord, we look to you and seek your guidance as we consider the facts and figures this day, as we discern and make decisions. Let us always be willing to listen to you and take the time necessary to reflect on how our decisions will affect those we govern. Finally, we ask you to watch over all those who have dedicated themselves to keeping the peace here and abroad. We seek your protection for all those in leadership, and especially for the staff both here and on the city streets. Keep them safe and sheltered from harm as they provide services for a clean and safe and healthy environment, so that all who call San Bernardino their home might give thanks for this life and live it abundantly. I pray this in the name of my Lord and Savior. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend McLaughlin. At this time, we will ask Councilmember Nickel to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. City Attorney, would you please give a closed session report?
I will do that, Mayor. Closed session report coming up. In the matter of listed in, all of these are listed under item A, I believe. No, they're not. Under item A, that was our bankruptcy report. There's nothing to report on that. Under item A2, in the matter of SoCal Environmental Justice Alliance versus San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District, the Council authorized the filing of a notice of appeal of the trial court's judgment. In the matters A3 through A6, in the matters of Quang Yi versus City of San Bernardino, AMF versus City of San Bernardino, Cush Concepts versus City of San Bernardino, and Michael Lee versus City of San Bernardino, there's no action to report. Councilman Valdivia abstained from participating in the discussion. In the matter listed under item B1, the matter of one item under significant exposure to litigation, there was no action taken. In the matter of under item C, which is City versus Moreno, Council gave settlement directive by vote of 7-0. Item C2 under City versus City Group, Council gave settlement negotiation directive by vote of 7-0. And items listed under D and E, which respectively are the city manager and the two properties that are being negotiated, those matters were continued to July 5th, next council meeting closed session. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And thank you for that reminder, City Clerk. I got a little overexcited about this next presentation. I'd like to call Kenny Labatos, Charles Harris and Terry Washington, and Ian Franklin and Terry Boykins to join me. Gives me great pleasure to recognize these three young men who will be representing our city at the 2017 USA Boxing Junior Olympics in Charleston, West Virginia. Each of them is an example of the perseverance, dedication, and hard work it takes to master a skill. Project Fighting Chance has given these students an opportunity to be ambassadors for our city. We are proud and glad to recognize each of them tonight. We have prepared a certificate of recognition for Ian Franklin, the Mayor and Council of the City of San Bernardino, joined to recognize you for leading an organization of hope and opportunity for the San Bernardino youth. You are ambassadors also. Project Fighting Chance continues to empower and improve the outcomes of our youth. Thank you for your continued excellence and dedication to the City of San Bernardino. Boykins, thank you to you also. Terry is one of the coaches. Board member, excuse me. Board member coach. Kenny, congratulations. And Terry. Is it Keita? Okay. I'd like to present each of you with the San Bernardino City Strong pin. We also have a pin. Let's see. Thank you very much. You stand right over here and we'll get a photo with you.
I'd just like to thank Common Council and the mayor for allowing us to come and talk about what we do. There's a short video. I was wondering if it could be played. This kind of paints a picture of what we do and how we do it. It's actually ready to roll.
And it was started to help inner city youth have a place to go, let off some steam, be able to understand the competition of boxing.
Boxing, keeping kids out of trouble, and defending yourself and stuff. It's kind of hard growing up there, but I'm going to practice, so we're teaching at the streets.
As dramatic as it sounds, this is life-saving for some kids. This is a gang infestation. Kids will benefit from the dedication, the desire, the determination that they're learning here in the ring. And if they apply that outside the ring, when they become adults, they're going to be unstoppable.
It helps us be stronger.
Well, what this kind of paints a picture of is we're an alternative, and we all know some of the things that happen in this city. But we're no secret. We've been here 18 years doing this, so this is not the first time we've had kids up here but we're going to be here for a long time. I know a lot of times our boxing gets top billing because, some of our athletes have been successful and still are. But there's a lot of things we do. We feed the kids. When they come in, they get a snack, they get a full meal before they leave. We have up to 40 and 50 kids a day up in here. We have a chess club. We have tutoring. We have anger management. We have guitar lessons. We have art class. What we try to do is anybody that walks by our facility, we want to have something that they can enjoy and come and, have a good time for a couple hours out the day. We have a lot of positive mentors that come in and pour into these kids. So I just want to paint the whole picture. We're here trying to create an option for the youth and a positive outlet. We believe in teaching the 4 Ds, desire, dedication, determination, and discipline. You take those 4 Ds with you, you can be successful in any endeavor in life. So I thank you for the opportunity. Before I leave, Terry Boykins is going to come up. He has a gift for everybody and a few words to say, I'm sure. Thank you.
Well, Mayor and City Council, I want to say thank you. And as Ian said, there's a lot of things that goes on at Project Fighting Chance. And this is about the family. And this would not be successful without the parent engagement that is committed and dedicated to these young people. Being parents, dealing with issues, dealing with their homes, and getting their kids to a place where they're safe and they're learning and they're contributing to the city as well as to their communities. It is no question that what we're doing is building a better future. We are building taxpayers. That is our focus, is to make sure that these young people stay educated, stay engaged, and stay productive and employed and contribute to the base that makes these cities run. And that's what we're about. We have business to take care of in Charleston, West Virginia. And the business is not just in the ring. It's when these young people get on the airport in LAX this Saturday, and they represent the city of San Bernardino. And people are going to know that they're coming from San Bernardino. They've been there, done that before. And I can guarantee you, 3,000 miles away, it's going to be SB Strong. I guarantee you, it will be SB Strong. And so, Mayor, City Council members, we would like for you to give these young athletes your support of something that they will be able to get ready for their competition and reflect back on the support that you have given them by you signing their gloves that they can keep as a momentum and an encouragement to let them know that somebody at home is in their corner. And I definitely want to get a chance to Councilmember Marquez, thank you for your support. Gil Botello, I'm sure if he's here, thank you. Is he? Gil, thank you very much, Gil, for making sure that we had a chance to be involved with this. But, Mayor, I would like to start with you. If you can get a chance to just give them your signature on some gloves so we can make sure these champions bring back the title to San Bernardino.
Mayor, can I make a comment, please, while you're signing the gloves real briefly?
Yes, you're recognized.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Terry and Ian for doing this. I think something that was not mentioned is that this training takes place in a small classroom at the home of the Neighborly Service at 859 North Mount Vernon Avenue. And a lot of miracles happen there. And congratulations to the 3 young men that are going to be representing us. That's why we are San Bernardino Strong. Thank you and best wishes, and go kick some butt.
There you go. And now you're talking the language we know about. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the things that becomes very critical, not only we have to kick butt on the street and kick butt in the ring, but we got to kick butt in the finances that it takes to support these programs. And we do have a GoFundMe account for Project Fighting Chance. Mr. Rory Gandy has put that in place, a board member. Any of the support that you can direct us to, steer us to. When you talk about travel and accommodations, making sure these young people are eating, making sure that they're transported safely, they're chaperoned, it takes resources. And so any of those contacts, information that we can get from you, feel free to give us a call. Go to the Project Fighting Chance website or catch us before we leave. We want to make sure that when we come back here, we have a starting point to make sure that people around this country know that San Bernardino cares about its young people, and there's good things that happens here other than what they just hear about on the news around the country. It does not have to be something devastating to occur in San Bernardino for us to make the news. And I guarantee you, we're about to bring home 3 champions that you all will be very proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. We are indeed very proud of you, and best of luck. We will be looking forward to doing another celebration when you return. The next item on our agenda has been postponed, item number 2. Next, we have Councilman Mulvihill, who will present the Citizen of the Month.
Thank you, Mayor. I know of just a few individuals who are so dedicated to serving the public and also promoting a positive image for the city of San Bernardino than the individual that we're celebrating tonight. Myra Elder has, in the past, participated in Santa Claus Incorporated, also in the Assistance League, and more recently she has developed the Community Builder, Citizens Builder, Community Builders, neighborhood organizations, and also has devoted a great deal of time promoting, improving the Rowe Branch Library, the public library, and during a time of such limited public resources, it's really imperative on the citizens to step up to look at the services that are available in their own community. And so I'd like to have Myra Elder come to the podium so we can recognize you. And let me take your hand on. And Andrew. Thank you. And for your lapel.
Thank you so much.
And now you have some things to say?
I do. Thank you so much, Jim. And whatever it is that I do, I rarely do it alone. Community Builders is a neighborhood association that we started about 7 years ago. Our thoughts were to increase the security for our neighborhood and to do what we could to network with the city. We have a stop sign installed at a dangerous corner on Genevieve and 31st. We work closely with the Water Department to landscape the large plumbing station at Mountain View and 31st. Currently, our main goal is to purchase a digital sign for Rowe Library. Currently, it does not have a sign. Rowe Library and other libraries offer many children and adults programs as well as job search sites. We've had 3 rummage sales and received nearly $6,000 in 2.5 years. We also will be accepting donations. And may I have them sent to council chambers here? No? Well then, my address is 3091 Mountain View Avenue, San Bernardino 92405. Checks can be made to San Bernardino Public Libraries in the memo Rowe Branch sign. Beginning today, our other focus also is the tree situation in this city. There are many, many, many dead trees, and hundreds more will die soon without water. This is just not acceptable. Dead and dying trees are not an option. Our association will tomorrow work towards getting meetings with the mayor, city manager, the city attorney, Parks and Rec, and all council members. We encourage all citizens to call in and address these concerns. The phone number you would call is 384-7272. Not only do trees provide shade, beauty, and clean air, they also enhance our city image and property values. Safety is also a very huge concern. Only 3 days ago, there was another fire on top of Paris Hill. At the base of the hill, not very many feet, is a cluster of large dead pine trees, and they have been there in that condition for a great long time. I'm talking some years. One moment. The Y, the senior center, the family picnic areas, tennis courts, family neighborhoods, as well as businesses on Highland Avenue are adjacent to these dead trees. It's a huge tinderbox and should be dealt with immediately. In my business, I am pleased to meet many families that want to move here. They compare our historic and other fine neighborhoods to Beverly Hills and Pasadena. This image will erode if we do not water these trees and maintain our overall landscaping. Can we consider asking citizens to pay $1 a month additional on their water bill? Can we seek donations for trees? I don't have the answers. We ask for you to come up with a plan that will make good sense, and I guarantee you, many of our citizens will work along with you to save our trees and our landscaping. Our thanks to Mayor Davis, City Manager Scott, City Attorney Gary Sines, and council persons. You have faced and overcome many huge obstacles in the last few years. With your continuing education and partnership with the community, San Bernardino is once again the city on the move. You go.
Thank you, Myra. Appreciate all the hard work that you're doing with community builders. Next, we'd like to invite Andy Belknap with Management Partners to come forward, give a brief update on the bankruptcy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Can I have some help with the PowerPoint? Is Monica?
She's going to go out the door. Monica?
She is. Monica, can you put that on for me? Thank you. Anyway, I know you have a lot to do tonight. Let me get started. Mayor and members of the City Council, my name is Andy Belknap with Management Partners. I began working with the City of San Bernardino in January of 2015. And
Andy, would you raise the podium so it'll be closer to you?
Sure. It's my first time in a new council chamber, so.
Thank you.
Anyway, I've been working with the city since January of 2015, and my role has been to assist and facilitate and manage the bankruptcy process so that it could be successfully concluded. And I've worked with the bankruptcy team on that since, as I mentioned, January of 2015. I'm happy to be able to say tonight that we're done with this. And I'll give you some background on this, but the bottom line is the city is wrapping up its bankruptcy. You won't be receiving bankruptcy updates from me because we're finished with the bankruptcy. Thank God. And I want to just give you some details about the exiting of bankruptcy. There's going to be some legal issues that hang on, but on February 7th, as you recall, Judge Jury signed the city's confirmation order. Essentially what that did is it took the plan of adjustment, which we created and presented to the City Council in April of 2015, and said, yes, this plan will work. It will allow you to emerge from bankruptcy. Since February 7th, we've been working with the, she also issued an injunction, which is important for the city's plan. It protects city employees from any personal liability. We had to go through 3 iterations of the plan of adjustment, and that took much of the time between April of 2015 and February 7th of 2017. As we worked through it, it got better. We had to do, between February 7th and our effective date, we had to do a number of things. We had to make secure final agreements with all the bond financing representatives, so this is basically banks and a number of banks. We had to reach final agreements with unsecured claims, mainly employees' claims, and we had to deal with a variety of litigation claims that the city had. So that's been done. The plan conditions have been met. The city's effective date occurred on June 15th. Bankruptcy attorneys are going to be filing a notice that we've complied with the plan and that the effective date has occurred probably next week. We have a couple of appeals on the plan of adjustment, but they have not prevented the city from moving forward on the plan. We feel we'll be successful in dealing with those. The city has now begun making the payments due under the plan of adjustment, which were budgeted for payment in our bankruptcy fund. The bankruptcy is a last resort, and candidly, it's very expensive. Fortunately, the worst in terms of the expenses for the city is over. We want to acknowledge the costs because they're real and they're painful, but there will be some continuing legal costs, but you will not have to bear the expert and consultant costs which were necessary to get us to this point. So you start seeing less and less in terms of expenditures going forward. And in fact, the most recent month for which we have data, April, was the lowest monthly cost since we instituted the monthly cost tracking in January of 2015. City went into bankruptcy in August of 2012, and it's been an extremely painful time for the city as a municipality, the employees, retirees, and all the creditors, all of which absorbed losses. The plan of adjustment provides at least $350 million in one-time and ongoing expenditure savings, plus additional revenue and cost restructuring over a 20-year period. So yes, it was costly, but it was also got the city out from under a number of debts and obligations that it just could not pay. I think most importantly, the city has a solid plan for rebuilding municipal service delivery, and in fact has executed on that plan. And I know that the mayor and the city council, since you've approved those changes, and many of them have been difficult and painful, I know that you know well how much heavy lifting has gone on. The overall financial situation for the city is stable, and I believe that when you confer with the staff tonight on your budget, you will see that the city, while not arguably in a robust financial condition, is in a stable condition, and it's going to get better. Our biggest challenge has been at the time we were doing the restructuring and going through bankruptcy, one of our largest cost drivers, CalPERS, which provides for pensions for city employees, was sort of ratcheting down their investment earnings and other assumptions in their plan that made that particular cost element more expensive. So that was probably our biggest challenge in doing the plan. But we've got it done. The city is on stable ground. I do believe that this year you have already started to improve funding for police and infrastructure maintenance. A lot of great things have happened with respect to police services, and I know more is in the offing, and I know how badly needed that is here. So the city's fiscal situation, I can say quite honestly, is much better than when I arrived on the scene. in January of 15. It's going to be something that you're going to have to monitor carefully because it takes a long time to get into bankruptcy. It took us a long time to get out, and the city is still going to have to watch very carefully going forward. So in conclusion, the original plan of adjustment that was approved by the mayor and the city council in April of 2015 has been largely implemented. We had 3 versions of the plan, so we made some changes as we went, but it was largely intact. You're going to be, just like all the other cities in California, you're going to have to be looking for ways to contain costs and look for cost recovery and revenues to fully fund services. But you've done a miraculous amount of work in basically 2.5 years, and including changing your form of governance, which was never done by any of the other municipalities that have had to face this. So you have a much more modern type of government than you have. And I'd just like to personally thank the city attorney and the mayor and the council members and the staff for all the hard work that they did in getting to this point, because it was not easy. And I'm just glad to be here, and you won't be seeing me again, and that's a good thing. So, thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council members? Thank you very much, Andy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'd like to invite the chamber to come forward.
Mayor and common council, board leader, board member's not here, so I'm going to fill in, kind of wing it a little bit. We have business after hours at Little League Ballpark. Tomorrow starts at 5 o'clock. And want to remind you to set the date for October the 7th for Rendezvous Back to 66. And we have Coffee Clutch every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Anybody that'd like to come to it, see what's going on or hear what's going on, there's the place to hear it. And then we also have a networking lunch once a month at different restaurants throughout the town. And you can call information there at the chamber. That's 885-7515. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Next, we'd like to invite Enrique Armenta from Congressman Aguilar's office to come forward.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I just wanted to give a quick announcement. Congressman Aguilar will be hosting his annual senior fair Friday, July 7th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It will be located at Colton High School, at Ken Hubbs Gym on Rancho Avenue. The address there is 777 West Valley Boulevard. Our office will be providing assistance with VA benefits, Social Security, Medicare, IRS, and we're also inviting a bunch of vendors to provide resources like free health screenings, food assistance program information, and some health education. There's no RSVP required. It's free to everyone. There's sign-up sheets at your local senior center. If the seniors need a ride from there to the fair, we'll be providing buses as well. There's going to be a free lunch provided to all seniors. So hope you guys can make it. Thanks.
Thank you, Enrique.
9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Yeah.
Next, we'll move to public comments for items on the agenda. Public comment slip is for Sandra Ibarra.
I can't put this one up. Mayor, Council.
You're welcome to come to the other one if it's easier for you, Sandra.
That's okay. Item 20 is what I'm going to speak on. I'm okay with item 20. I would just say be careful with HPI. I saw them noted on the site agreement. And I know I just went onto the HUD website in order to manage to use this home funding from HUD. the agency has to be HUD approved. As of today, I did see NPHS. I have worked with NPHS. They're a great group to work with. But HPI, I did not find listed on the HUD website as of today. And if it is there, I wish I could be told where to locate them. Thank you.
Thank you. Start with Councilmember Mulvihill. Do you have any items to pull?
I have none, Your Honor.
Councilmember Richard?
I have none, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Nichol?
I have item 11, 16, and 20.
Councilman Schreck?
Yeah, Mayor, item 20, only for the, to abstain, I am on the board of HP1, so I will be abstaining on item number 20.
Thank you. Councilman Valdivia?
Item number 17, Mayor, that is all.
Councilman Barrios?
None, Mayor. They've been pulled.
Councilmember Marquez?
I believe number 16 and 20 have been pulled. Thank you.
Move the balance.
Mayor,
Yes.
I have a correction with respect to the minutes. You got it. And this is with respect to, this is item number 7 on the consent calendar, and the minutes I'm referring to are the minutes of the meeting for June 7th. That's on your packet, page number 27, and it says that I made a correction for those minutes. The correction incorrectly reads here that Councilman Henry Nichol was absent during the entire closed session, or was absent during the closed session. The correction would be that he was only absent during the discussion and voting on the Paul Triplett case, Paul Triplett versus City of San Bernardino. Councilmember Nichol was absent for that vote. For the rest of for the other, he was not absent during the entire meeting.
All right.
Thank you.
So we have a motion.
Move the balance.
Second. As corrected.
Was there a second? No, I'll make the second.
Councilman Mulvihill made the motion to move it, and Councilman Charette has seconded it. Please cast your vote. Any further discussion? None? Please cast your votes.
Oh, sorry.
On the consent calendar, the motion to approve was made by Mr. Mulvihill, the second by Mr. Charette, and it passed. And I'm not sure how to stop this vote right now. Hold on. But it passed 7-0. See if we can.
Thank you. Item number 11 is a recommendation to adopt the resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Bernardino declaring its intention to conduct a public hearing to consider the vacation of a portion of Genevieve Street north of Wabash Street and south of Magnolia Avenue and the reservation of utility easements therein. It's pulled by Councilman Nichol.
Yeah, I had a couple questions from constituents regarding this item. The first question is, I didn't see in the material, when there's a street vacation such as this, is there a value attached to the property that's being vacated, and the party that acquires that property through the vacation, is there some compensation, or how does that work?
Yes, Ryan Aschenbrenner, Public Works, Acting Real Property Specialist. When the street is vacated, it reverts to the underlying fee owner. In this case, the tract map, the portion being vacated, the adjacent property owner is the underlying owner already. And so no value needs to be assigned to it because they already own it. In a case where the city is the underlying fee owner, then it would create its own parcel, at which point it would become excess property that would need to be disposed of.
Okay. How many of these types of cul-de-sacs do we have in the city currently? I understand the justification for it, that it's being done for security purposes, to gate off the area and to mitigate some of the criminal activity that may otherwise occur. Are there other locations such as this in the city we've identified? Is this something we're actively pursuing? I know tonight we're considering our CIP budget. I would assume that once this is vacated, the property owner is then responsible for the maintenance of the asphalt and so forth for that remaining cul-de-sac. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. This street vacation was petitioned by the adjacent property owner. The city is not currently actively looking at cul-de-sacs for vacation. And so I'm not aware of exactly how many of these cul-de-sacs exist within the city. However, when this street vacation occurs, that portion of the cul-de-sac will no longer be public right-of-way and will be privately owned and privately maintained.
And how many of these streets are actually part of the fee, underlying fee ownership of that adjacent property? Is that pretty common? That's a pretty common. So in other words, there's probably quite a few streets like this where the street is actually part of the adjacent property or the property that it is on.
Almost all streets are street easements.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in older areas of a town, you'll have property that the city actually owns in fee, but they usually exist as easements from the adjacent properties.
Okay. I'm going to support this. I think it's a good thing. In fact, I think as I understand more about it, I think it'd be something that I'd like to explore a bit further. It was brought to my attention that the city of San Bernardino, given our age, we have an inordinate number compared to a lot of the surrounding cities because of the small size of our city blocks. We have a lot more streets, a lot more pavement, a lot more intersections and so forth. And I think this type of an action, I think, relieves the city to some degree of some of the ongoing maintenance and may also open up some opportunities to, I hate to use the word sort of privatize, but certainly in the case of a cul-de-sac, I think this sort of vacation is appropriate. So I will move to approve, and thank you for your hard work.
I have a couple of questions related to the security. I believe in the backup it indicates that this should aid or that area with security. Can you address that, or the chief, as far as how this vacation will actually enhance the ability to improve the security and the circulation? What issues are going to be resolved as a result of the vacation for circulation?
With regards to security, the initial request for the street vacation came in because the property owner wished to create a gated community, erecting a gate to restrict access to the, I believe it's an apartment complex. However, you can't put a gate across a public street, and so they're requesting the vacation of the street so that that portion of the street will be private and they can erect a fence. Now, as far as circulation, there is an exhibit in the staff report for a hammerhead turnaround that will allow local circulation that is not going to be passing through those gates to turn around and exit Genevieve Street, going back down to, I believe it's Wabash.
For purposes of fire access, will the vacation negatively impact that or not?
No. Fire access is going to be maintained through the use of a Knox lock system. So fire will continue to have access to the cul-de-sac. The private property owner will be responsible for maintaining that portion of the street and ensuring that there's no parking on that portion of the street so that a fire engine can pull into the apartment complex and make use of the cul-de-sac in order to turn around.
You indicated you want to turn it into a gated community. Will there be fencing around the other portions of it in addition to the street vacation?
That is my understanding.
Thank you. I believe we have a motion. I didn't know, was there a second? Yeah. All right. No further discussions. Please cast your votes.
On item 11, the motion to approve was made by Mr. Nichol, the second by Mr. Barrios, and it passed 7-0.
Thank you. Next is item 16, to adopt a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Bernardino approving the First Amendment to the professional services agreement between the city of San Bernardino and Dan Webster. I believe this was pulled by Councilmember Marquez and Councilmember Nichol. Councilmember Marquez?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Scott, I'm a little bit confused on this agenda item, and I need you to clarify some things. I was under the impression that he was only going to be here for the purposes of relocating us. But from what I'm reading from this, we will continue to pay him?
No. This is for work that he's already done. I said in my email that I sent to the council, this is bad form because you're supposed to get contracts before the money is allocated rather than after. But he's done. He worked with us through the move.
Right.
Was very close to his 960 hours, and he's done. He's not working here anymore.
So this item is to pay for his services?
Yeah, we haven't paid him since January.
Oh. I think I read the email. We get hundreds a day, literally. So I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay. Thank you.
Move approval. Second.
No further discussion. Councilman Nichol?
Yeah, well, it's almost, I assume there were, some unforeseen expenses involved? This is almost twice as much as what was originally authorized under the city manager's authority.
Yeah.
So we're adding an additional $60,000 to the original $50,000 contract.
No, I don't think we didn't have any idea what all would be involved in the move.
Okay.
This is the bargain of the century. I hope you all appreciate that. We got an hourly rate of $115 an hour from a consultant that's a $225 an hour consultant who paid all of his own expenses. But the move cost what the move cost, and when we originally did the contract, it was under city manager authority, so anything beyond that required additional request. It just should have been put on the council agenda a long time ago.
Now, did we hire actual movers as well? So, and those are not part of these costs? So there's additional costs in terms of the actual movers?
This is just simply his time.
Okay. And do we know what the actual movers, what those costs?
I don't know, but the council approved the contract. It was some time ago we did it.
Okay. So this was in addition, and then I guess this gentleman also negotiated the lease agreements, is that correct?
Did an incredible amount of work. Yeah, he coordinated this entire move. He found locations to move to. He negotiated the leases. He negotiated, along with Robin Randolph, he negotiated the mover contract. He got the property evaluations done on each of the properties. Did all of the move meetings with all of the staff people from all the different departments. He also looked at the convention center issues that we're having, the parking garage issues, the structural issues. Did an incredible amount of work, and I think we probably only got billed for part of them. But yeah, I'd be happy to provide an itemization, but it's
No, it's not necessary. I just want to get a sense of what he did. I appreciate that. I'll support this.
Councilman Valdivia?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to
Lincoln.
Oh, there we go. So, Mark, on packet page 320, just to completely kind of all support this, but you're suggesting on page 320 his term. So this term ends June 30th.
Yeah.
And then on packet page 321 termination, it says that under termination, he may resign at any time, so I'm kind of mixed here. So is he?
He's done.
He's done.
He only was allowed to work 960 hours under CalPERS.
Okay.
So he's done.
All right.
He's gone.
Very good. Thank
we
you.
can make note of that in the action if we want.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Second, please cast your votes.
On item 16, the motion to approve was made by Mr. Charette, the second by Mr. Mulvihill, and the item passed 7-0. Mr. Valdivia voiced his yes vote.
All right, thank you. Next is item 17. Recommendation to adopt a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of San Bernardino setting the 2017 regulatory fee for the sale of fireworks in the City of San Bernardino. Mr. Valdivia?
Move for approval. I do want to certainly have some ongoing discussion with regulatory fee. I'm hearing a lot of, I think we need to, the next LRC probably should reconsider some of the fee schedules. And Mark, really trying to understand how we can somehow improve and possibly even lower those fees. I think there needs to certainly be a nexus to the service delivery of the city. I don't think we have done a fee study in quite a while for this, so I'll move it tonight, but know that I'm looking for your expertise in kind of guiding us on what our next steps for regulatory fees. Many of these nonprofits are impacted, and I want to really have some candid and frank conversations with our team and find out how and what those services are. So, thank you.
For the discussion, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
On item 17, the motion to approve was made by Mr. Valdivia, the second by Mr. Charette, and it passed 7-0.
Thank you. Next is item 20, adopt a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of San Bernardino authorizing the execution of a home investment partnership program home loan agreement with Neighborhood Partnership Housing Services to implement the modular housing component of the infill housing program. Councilman Charette?
Mr. City Attorney, do I need to absent myself from the table? I'm going to abstain on this as I'm a board member of one of the parties here.
Yes.
So I should leave the room?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you. Some of us are lucky and some of us aren't.
I know somebody asked about pulling this one. Mr. Flores actually has a presentation on this item, so perhaps the council would like to hear that first.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Flores.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. We're here before you. If you recall, about a month or so ago, we made a presentation with respect to the infill housing program. And at that time, we presented the agreement between the City of San Bernardino and HP1 dealing with stick-built construction of housing, affordable housing in the city. This is the second part of that program coming before you, dealing with NPHS with modular housing. And what I laid in front of you are the renderings that I promised you that we would bring forward, renderings dealing with both concepts. And you can see from the renderings that they're very comparable. They're quality construction on both sides of the table. Mayor, before I continue with the presentation, the question was asked, or the question was raised with respect to HP1 not being certified by HUD. Let me tell you that HUD only requires the nonprofit to be certified when they're doing an educational component with respect to the people. on first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance programs, fair housing. In this scenario, all that is required for a nonprofit to participate under the 15% set-aside home funds is for that nonprofit to be a CHODO. And in this case, both nonprofits in this instance are CHODOs. Therefore, the question is moot with respect to not being certified by HUD. So let me continue. The program is ready to be kicked off with respect to infill housing. We've identified the funds, being home funds. We've identified two excellent nonprofit organizations, and I have the participant parties here that I'd like to introduce to you. If I may, for 1 second. Clemente Mojica, he is the Executive Director of NPHS, that has a superior record, and Anthony Perez, who is Executive Director of NHP1. Both entities are nonprofit organizations, CHODOs, approved in our area, and have an excellent track record in housing development. Clemente's group is going to be handling the modular housing construction, which also includes the feasibility of using solar panels. Anthony Perez will be conducting the stick-built housing construction that you see in front of you, that also will be taking advantage of solar panels as necessary. So we're here before you to get approved for $625,000 to move forward with the infill housing program on the modular side with Clemente Mojica's group and PHS.
Thank you. Do you have any locations that you've been...
We've identified, initially, I think we've identified 20 locations. We're currently screening those locations for the sake of size and availability. Out of the 20, we're going to identify 6 initial parcels, 3 for each nonprofit, and by July 5th, we should be able to come forward and identify exactly where those parcels are located. We're doing the analysis right now to determine size, configuration, to ensure that one of two things can happen, that the stick-built housing can fit in that parcel and or the modular housing.
As part of the location analysis, is there consideration for looking at a neighborhood that would benefit by having multiple put in a similar area? So that
Absolutely, we are, Mayor, because it makes sense economically to try to do more than one in one location. Keep in mind that along with the construction of the units or the modular construction, we're also looking at the beautification program. We're also looking at cleanup activities in the program, and we're looking at owner rehab program being implemented in that entire area.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Ed, I really wholeheartedly support this item. Home ownership should be the ultimate goal, the American dream. Very impressed with what is going to be happening in our city. Can you let us know, in a nutshell, who would be eligible to purchase these homes?
Any qualified individual that qualifies with a lender at 80% of medium income qualifies for that. Keep in mind that we, the city, are not going to portfolio the loans. We're simply going to provide the funding to construct the loans. Then each individual can get an FHA loan, a VA loan, a conventional loan, and get that approved through their own financial institution, right, and they buy the unit. Keep in mind that to make it affordable, we're taking into consideration if we're providing the parcel, there's already a write-down for that. If one of the components with respect to solar panels, if they qualify at 80% medium, correct me, Clemente, if I'm wrong, but the solar panels become a grant. Correct. Okay.
Very impressive.
And then for the houses where Anthony Perez is providing the construction, we have funds set aside specifically to provide grants for solar panels as well.
Are you privy to letting us know where the potential sites may be?
Will be hopefully by next council meeting.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. It has so many advantages: home ownership, removal of blight, transformation of communities, and that's what we want. I'd like to move this item.
Before you move it, let me add that they're all energy efficient units. all the appliances are energy efficient. We're looking at high-quality construction on both sides of the spectrum.
Councilman Mulvihill?
Yeah, I certainly agree with everything that Councilwoman Marquez indicated about the home ownership. $650,000. Can you give me an estimate how many units do you think you're going to give them different prices of land and so forth?
We're thinking 3 for that amount of money, because what we're going to do is build them at approximately about $270,000, sell them, roll over the money, and do it again, and continue to do so.
Okay.
So initially, we've got 6 parcels that we're going to look at, and then keep that ball rolling, keep that momentum going.
Okay. So you think 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
3 per nonprofit.
And you have another $600,000 that's unspent that you're going to combine this with?
Right. Remember, we provided the last nonprofit and MP1 $650,000 already. That's been approved by you. Now there's an additional $650,000 on the table for the second nonprofit.
So the money, money from HUD is used to actually build it?
Yes,
pay the developer, and then that is forgiven once the property is sold? The developer's loan, because now you've sold it, and that is basically the security for the purchase by the eligible buyer, and then the eligible buyer, does the eligible buyer get their own loan?
Yes, they do.
And so then it pays off that original amount that then is then recirculated.
Right. It comes back to us, and the developer gets a developer fee.
Okay. Councilman Barrios?
Just one quick question. These people that are going to purchase these properties, are we ensuring that they're not investors that just want to buy them and rent them out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll vet them
How are we
correctly.
doing that? How are we doing that?
Each nonprofit develops a list. They vet the applicant through the process of ensuring that they qualify as 8% medium first-time homebuyer programs. And they have to be owner-occupied. Because a lot of these, in most cases, you have affordability covenants that run with that land that require home ownership and occupancy.
And the occupancy, is it limited, or is it the whole entire time of the loan?
It's 10 years.
10 years. Okay, great. Thank you. That answers my question.
Councilman Nickel?
Yeah, you had touched briefly on this, that the intent is to couple this program with, I would assume, some of our CDBG type of projects and priorities. You know, one of the concerns I heard is you spend a lot of money putting a nice home into a neighborhood that's very deteriorated. You know, you probably aren't going to get the best return on investment, that it's probably worthwhile to, simultaneous to putting these homes in, start the process of rehabilitating that immediate area in which that home is going in. Can you speak briefly to what that process looks like? I assume that, how does that coordination occur? Does something have to come back to the council? Do we have to approve something? How do we ensure that we're getting the best return on our investment for our community development and HUD dollars?
Each program has either been approved or will be approved by you with respect to funding those programs, the beautification program, the homeownership rehabilitation program, and the exterior facade program. All those are CDBG funded, approved by you. Now, the responsibility of the nonprofit is to ensure that they do a number of things. When they identify when we've identified the parcel that they're going to build on, they have to do their due diligence in contacting the entire affected area, and then do a number of things. One, introduce home ownership rehab program, which can either be a loan or a grant, exterior beautification as a grant for the entire block, coordinate neighborhood cleanup activities in that particular jurisdiction as well. So we're attacking the entire premise of that.
So there will be coordination?
There has to be.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll support this.
Is there are there any of the properties that were part of the successor agency?
Most of all of them are initially successor agency properties. We're not going out and buying parcels. We have plenty of parcel inventories from the successor agency that we can utilize for this purpose.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your vote.
On item 20, the motion to approve was made by Ms. Marquez, the second by Mr. Valdivia, and it passed 6-0 with Councilmember Fred Charette abstaining.
And before I leave the podium, let me thank the mayor, city council, and city manager for your assistance and your backing. This is my last city council meeting. My contract ends next week, but it's been a pleasure, an honor to serve you. It's been exciting. I think I leave the housing division in good hands. The staff is excellent through the direction of the city manager and yourselves. So thank you for your time, your dedication. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Please note that Councilmember Charette has returned to the dais. Next is a public hearing, so this public hearing is now open, and it's to conduct a public hearing to direct the city clerk to administratively move any properties from the business registration liens list, Exhibit A, which have been paid prior to the hearing, and adopt a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Bernardino. Do we have any public speaking slips on this?
I didn't receive any.
All right, I've received it. Talisha?
Ms. Lopez is here to do a report if you'd like, however.
Okay. The Business Registration Division, we collect for uncollected business license fees for rental properties. The list that you have, the attachment contains properties that would be considered residential and commercial properties. When we're unable to collect the fees due to the city, then we do move forward in the lien process.
Move for approval.
Second.
Good job. Good job.
Again.
I have a question for you.
Thank you.
In the report, on packet page 466, the column,
I'm sorry.
the column heading, the amount column,
Yes.
next to it is the prior to lien.
Yes.
Which is the amount that is being assessed?
If someone were to pay today, then they would pay the amount prior to lien. If they pay after the lien is approved by council, then they pay the amount that's listed in the amount column.
And that would be the amount that would go on the assessment?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please cast your votes.
On item 21, the motion was to approve was made by Mr. Valdivia, the second by Mr. Charette, and it passed 7-0.
Thank you. This public hearing is now closed. Next item is item number 22, adopt a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of San Bernardino, California, approving and adopting the City of San Bernardino's operating budget and capital improvement plan for fiscal years 2017-18 and establishing the city's appropriations limit as required by Article 8 of the California State Constitution. City Manager?
Yes, I'm going to spare you another one of my budget. Yeah,
I heard a second. Yes, me.
yeah, that's even better.
No further discussion.
Do you
Please
need
cast your
anything?
votes.
On item 22, the motion to approve was made by Mr. Charette, the second by Ms. Marquez, and it passed 7-0.
Thank you. We now move to public comments for items not on the agenda. First speaker slip is Sandra Ibarra.
Hello? Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just two things I want to point out. You guys voted in favor of that project, $650 for each agency, and I had that concern based on the HUD guidelines, but, it is what it is. But I hope that we don't have vacant lots, and I will mention 2 other items. The Highland to Guthrie and Arden vacant lot. That was also supposed to be affordable housing project, and it's vacant. $7 million out the window, and the city's paying for that. They're paying their note, $700,000 every year. We're going to give money to developers without them doing their work up front. The second item that I had a question on that I wasn't able to talk much on was the March Howard Rowe Library getting $250,000 for a roof replacement. It's a small library. We've asked several business owners who have equivalent square footage, and they've been quoted, for their roof replacement, you're looking at $70,000. Yet you guys approved that HUD plan to give for that roof replacement project $250,000 and only leaving $150,000 towards home rehab for the citizens of the city or homeowners. Maybe we should bring that back up and try to adjust those numbers. There's a lot of homeowners that are in fixed income, low income areas that need the help to fix their homes. And where I work at, we've already expended that money, so we're trying to find somewhere to refer these clients to. Whether you guys listen or not, that's on you guys, but it's pretty troubling what's happening. That's all.
Thank you. Next is Doug Jones.
Mayor, council persons, my wife and I bought the old Stinger's Bar off of Hunts Lane about 1.5 years ago. We had transients accessing a methadone clinic on neighboring Colton off of Hunt Boulevard where they put the bridge in, and they took the chain link fence off. I went to the neighboring businesses, the storage unit, Loma Linda, and they all said, there's nothing we can do. We've contacted the city, and it's just, I had tenants move out because of all these druggies going to the methadone clinic, harassing people, urinating, defecating, shooting up syringes. It was a real mess. And I called Public Works. I talked to Saba Engineer. She got the people over there. They replaced the fence. And the neighborhood, it's a different place. And it's amazing what just a little bit of effort will do. I mean, I put 8-10-foot gates in. I don't have the transients anymore. I don't have the needles. People are happy. I mean, it's just it's amazing. It's just night and day. And I'm here to thank you for saving that that neighborhood. And you can do it all over town. And your best days are ahead of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Saba is here, by the way. This is Saba Engineer in our second row.
Scott Olson.
Well, I'm here because I was asked to be here, and I was asked to give a message and do a few clarifications. I made a choice many months ago that I was wasting my time talking to City Council. I still feel that way. That being said, I would like to publicly thank the San Bernardino Police Department. On June 10th, there was a rally against Sharia law, and the PD, of course, responded. And they did so in an extremely professional and balanced manner. When one looks at the videos and the lack of action and the results by the Berkeley PD at the Trump rally from some of the same individuals who were protesting in San Bernardino, the professionalism of our police department with the limited resources you give them was very obvious. And we thank you for that. One simple thing needs to be made very clear about the protest. It was a protest against Sharia law. It was by a bunch of individuals who were very much pro-Constitution. So they had dozens of signs that said, "We love our Constitution, we love freedom." The media, of course, never showed those signs. Also, we had almost 500 people there. They are patriots. They were there because they supported the Constitution, and they don't want to see the changes now coming to our country. I have to clarify another thing in that if you have a rally and you're protesting against something, and somebody has a counter-protest against you, if you're rallying against somebody who's against something, you're rallying in support of it. So what we had in San Bernardino was a rally of those who support the Constitution, those who support Sharia law. It should be noted that those who support Sharia law said that the protest rally should not be held because it was sacred ground. Now, many of you would think that they were referring to the victims of December 2nd. Okay? 14 people died, 22 people were injured by two individuals who believed that Sharia law justified their attacking the residents in our city. Amazingly, we had 150 people protesting in support of those individuals. I proudly say I'm a patriot who was on the side of the Constitution, not the side of the Shell gas station. That's the way things go. But, thankfully, we had a lot of residents drive by us, and I'm also very proud to be a resident of San Bernardino, and the very positive response and very little negative response that we got from the residents as they drove by. They were extremely supported. And I was happy to see that as a resident of San Bernardino in my city, that we would have that kind of a support. I didn't see that support for the other side. Anyway, thank you very much to the PD and to the residents of San Bernardino. You made us feel great about our coming here to support our Constitution and our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Charlie Jacobs. Please turn the mic on. No. Thank you.
Okay. Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and the audience about our neighborhood association. Neighborhood association presidents are coming forward every other month to give information about our neighborhood associations, and it's my turn. My name is Charlie Jacobs, and I'm president of Terrace West Neighborhood Association and have been active for 20 years. We started out cleaning up the city before the Route 66 events with Mayor Judith Baez, and then moved on to cleaning and revitalizing parks and assisting with refuse department to bring free dump days to our neighborhoods. At our meetings, we invite city department personnel, council members, San Bernardino County, code enforcement, mental health, public safety, emergency preparedness, and CERT, and more to our meetings to discuss the problems, solutions, and have a voice in the community. It's important that we bring information and opportunity to our neighbors. Our meetings are held for 1 hour. We are currently looking for a meeting location, and I'll be able to provide additional information later. The Terrace West Neighborhood Association has participated in a Fun Wednesday after-school program and a fun food pantry at a local church. We're always trying to find different ways of helping and providing services to the neighbors. Seeing such a need for fresh fruits and vegetables in our neighborhood, the neighborhood was selected to receive a community garden and fruit tree orchard at Nicholson Park, 2750 West 2nd Street, from the incredible Edible Community Garden. The garden at this time is a work in progress. We're having a war with the squirrels. The orchard is doing well at this time. Our neighborhood is located at the edge of San Bernardino and the Rialto border. Foothill Boulevard and Meridian Avenue are the major streets. My boundaries are 9th to Pepper, to Rialto Avenue, to Rancho, to Macy. For more information on neighborhood associations, go to the city website under Neighborhood Associations, or email us at nacsbcal@gmail.com. or give us a phone call at 909-882-7085. That's it.
Thank you. We appreciate that report. I'm especially grateful to hear that the Nicholson Orchard's doing well.
Thank you.
Was that about 2 years ago when that was planted?
Having some issues. We're still having some issues, but we're working on them.
Thank you for that report.
You're welcome.
Dr. Jeanette Million.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We are a Servants Heart Community Development International. I am the CEO, founder, Dr. Million, serving in the inner city of San Bernardino since 2001. We have provided life-transforming services, resources, AC Green Life Skills for Youth, and education modules. We currently are hosting the AC Green Life Skills for Youth class here at the San Bernardino High School, starting on the 27th of June from 2 to 5 p.m. Registration is $30, and the ages for the children are 9 to 22 with parental consent. We are also the United States Marine Corps 29 Palm Toys for Tots distributor for the San Bernardino and the Riverside County, hosting about 5,000 people at that time of the year. Thank you, Mayor Davis, for honoring those Marines with a certificate from our city. Because of our efforts here, Toys for Tots at 29 Palms has grown. About 20 men and women of the United States Marine Corps get off that diesel truck about 4 a.m. in the morning at our facility, loaded with some of the best toys for our people here in San Bernardino. Some of the Marines have worked in full military dress with their white hats, that full military Marine outfit. And it's an honor for our city. And they come in at 4 a.m. in the morning and work to 4:30 that evening until all those families are served at that event. We have requested the Sun newspaper to come and cover this event with a story for more exposure. We need a facility. We've outgrown it. We need an appointment with the city manager's office, which we did call, and they promised to give us an email and call us back. But we're okay. We'll just try again. But the people here are still in need in this city, and so they need mind-transforming services. Right now, we're turning down pallets of freezers and meats and different things because we need a warehouse. We have a donor that donates 24 pallets a month for our clients here in the city, which will save and keep money in the house. But we've outgrown our facility. So we're here appealing for a building so we can impact more families with services and help us help them. We are asking for help from our city. A warehouse type of building is what we need. If you have any buildings sitting around, that will help us to be able to help our city better. Our phone number is 909-520-8846. Visit our website, ashcdi.org, or email us at ashcdi.com. Thank you.
Thank you. What's the period of time that program is going to be conducted at San Bernardino High School?
It's 4 weeks.
It's 4 weeks.
Tuesday and Wednesdays, we'll cut it down to 4 weeks because the school has to get ready for the school year to start again.
Thank you. Robert Porter.
City manager, retiring. City council, mayor, good people. A little light on the good people today. I wish more would have stayed. But Project Fighting Chance, please consider those guys. Man, they're making us look really good. Like what you said, Ms. Marquez, they deserve some support. More than just photo ops or showing up over there. They really need some support. So in the Home and Neighborly Services altogether, and that whole little area needs a lot of support. So, they came in here, they're representing San Bernardino, they're making us look good, so they should be rewarded. So, just my personal opinion. I'd like to mention that I'd like to thank you all for working hard to get San Bernardino out of bankruptcy. I know it was a hard road, and there's still a possibility that we could still go back into bankruptcy again. But we're out now, and we're going to prevent that, right? It's going to get a new city manager who's going to focus on keeping us making our payments, keeping our creditors happy. Next, safety. It's what we really, really need. We need safety. I know you're working on 20 new officers. We need 40 new officers. I don't really care how you do it. And most of the city of San Bernardino doesn't. You know how to get the revenues, Mr. Mayor. Go get them. Get them for the police department. Help them out. You know how to get those revenues. We just discussed it with Highland City Council, how to go get those revenues. They ignored it. They need new safety officers over there in Highland. They ignored it. But you have the opportunity here, Mr. Mayor. City Manager, you know, the court case is moving along here. You know, we need to turn some of those red to green before you leave. Maybe you could influence these guys and let them know that we need revenue. I mean, it was mentioned how many times by the bankruptcy consultant, how many times we need revenue? We need to look for new revenue. We need to look for new revenue. We need to make a payment and look for new revenue. Well, new revenue just doesn't pop up out of nowhere all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. James Sacco.
Thank you for seeing me. My name is James Sacco, and I live at 696 East 14th Street, San Bernardino, on the corner of Valencia and 14th Street. I've talked to City Councilman Barrios, if I pronounced it right, some time ago, and my requests are, Valencia is a highway that is as busy as Baseline or Waterman. The county trucks go up and down the streets, the kids fly up and down the streets, the school buses fly up and down the street. There's a Bradley Elementary School right there. I asked many times, through him, through police officers, to please put a motor cop on the corner at my house. You would have taken yourself out of bankruptcy 6 years earlier. I kid you not. It's a speed trap. It's unbelievable how they drive. Not only is the street in disarray with the speeding, but half the street was repaved from Baseline just past Bradley School. Half. The other half is all potholes. From there, from Baseline, all the way up to Gilbert. There's holes that are so deep that will blow a tire and bend a rim. Cannot get anybody to patch holes. I thought about even going to Home Depot and buying bags of asphalt and sticking them in the holes. Because I'm tired of trying to drive down the left side of the road that has been paved and the other side hasn't. What city has ever paved half a street? I lived in Buena Park for 35 years. I came out here, I downsized, I was always involved. I called the police on a house that was for sale. It was at dusk. Somebody was in there busting up the patio. No tools, no ladders, they're climbing all over the house. It took from dusk till after dark for the police to respond. I called the police on a house at 1223 Valencia because a friend of mine had evicted people out of the house and the sheriff locked them out. They had no business going back. I go by there, they're in the house. I called the police. It took them 1 hour and 30 minutes to send a car. The people were gone. Skyrockets. Put a cop on Valencia or 14th Street. I just called the other day. You can't get a police officer over there. These rockets are going off. The 4th of July is the 4th of July, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Not May not August. One more thing, is just you can't get anybody there for those skyrockets. Dogs are going crazy, car alarms are going off. Would like to have something done. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sacco. Barbara Babcock?
Barbara Babcock. Today we had some of the finest people from San Bernardino here. Terry Boykins, oh my God, I introduced Mayor, your wife, to him. He does more for this city than just about anybody. We have good people, but we have people that are here that are frustrated. The gentleman that was here and owns a piece of property, I talked to him, I ran out to talk to him afterwards, and he said, I want to buy more property here. He says, this city has great potential. I gave him my phone number. He's going to call me. I'm going to introduce him to some people in this city that can make things happen. I want those people that can make things happen to be the people sitting here at the dais. We have an election coming up. It's important for us to have people that get involved, return phone calls, and make a difference. Virginia, you are the epitome. And we've had our differences. I didn't support you in the last election, and you blocked me from your Facebook, but we're friends. Jim Mulvihill, I'm still blocked on your Facebook account. Find somebody. I emailed you 5 or 6 times, and I've talked to you 3 or 4 times. I'm not mad at you. I'm actually agreeing with you on some things, and that's kind of a first. This city has potential, but we have to give a flying fig. Mayor, I'm watching my language, okay? I really am. What are you laughing at, Mr. Symes? You're not elected anymore. I can't do anything to you. Charlie Jacobs, that was here, she was getting ready to leave. She says, I'm so frustrated. I'm going home. I said, no, please stay. They need to hear what you have to say. The good people of this city need to take this city back. Those of you that are sitting at home and watching, I love watching from the house. I get to make comments that, you guys may not like. But it's okay. But I come down here often enough to make a difference. And more people need to be down here and make a difference. This place is now empty. When the people of San Bernardino believe that you care, they will come. Dr. Million has been involved in this city for years. Dr. Million, how long have I known you? I moved here 12 years ago. I probably met you at least 11 years ago.
I moved here in 98, and the nonprofit's been here since 01.
Yeah. I mean, we know each other from whenever, and I'm feeling better than I've ever felt. I've had my sleep machine now for 2 weeks, and watch out. Watch out. Sleep, not having sleep is a dangerous thing. What they do to prisoners of war, to get them to buckle under, they sleep deprive them. Well, guess what? I'm catching up. So somebody said, is the old Barbara Babcock coming back? I said, heck no. The new one. Watch out. Mayor, you've been asking me to have our good friend, you've not met him, Julio, who has raised over $100 million. He may be here next week. He's working on a $70 million project. He loves San Bernardino. We have people that want to do for this city, but we have to act like we care. And I do. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comments. Do we have any items from council members to be referred to council committees?
I have a couple, Mayor.
Councilman Nickel.
Yeah, it's, I believe our city manager has addressed some of this over the last couple days, but it has come to my attention that I think it's appropriate for us to begin, or at some point, agendize a discussion regarding our communications policies here in the city to ensure we have appropriate mechanisms to ensure the public is aware of what is happening in our community, and that we also have some direction in terms of what is not appropriate use of the city's communication resources in regard to communicating with the public. So I would like to ask that we get agendized, hopefully within the next meeting or two, an item to discuss the city's communications policy as pertains both to elected officials and as relates to official communications from the city. Also, we have heard several meetings now, comments from the public regarding the issue of watering of our medians. We have a great asset in our community with the trees that we have. It is an asset. It's an asset that we need to ensure we protect and preserve. And I know that we've been grappling with this for some time. I would like to ask that we internally perhaps convene a discussion between our Parks Department, Public Works, and the city's Water Department to make sure that we have some clarity in terms of what are the current guidelines as pertain to the state restrictions, and really what options are available to us as relate to the preservation of our old-growth trees that exist in various areas of the city. Once they're gone, we can't bring them back. So I would like to ask that we make a concerted effort very soon. This has been a very hot week. I anticipate this will be a very hot summer, and the longer we wait, the more trees we will lose, and the more detriment will be experienced by our community. So I would like to ask for those two items, addressing our communications within the city and addressing the issue of our old-growth trees, and specifically those trees that exist in medians throughout the city. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll do that. The tree item, I'm going to schedule the staff to come and present that to the council and the public. I think we're in much better shape than people think. Because of the drought, of course, we did lose trees. It's very difficult to save deep-rooted trees through a drought, but with this year, we're in much, much better shape. But I'd like the staff to come and make that presentation, and we'll do that.
Any other? Start now with Councilmember Marquez for announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. The second annual Hunger Walk, sponsored by the Feeding America of San Bernardino Riverside Counties, are hosting their walk run on Saturday, June 24th from 8 to 10:30 a.m. This event is scheduled to take place at the San Manuel Stadium. Each paid registrant receives an event T-shirt and a free ticket to the 66ers game on June 24th. For additional information, you can call Stuart Haniff at area code 951-359-4757, extension 109. Also on Saturday, June 24th, San Bernardino will be hosting a residential community dump day from 8 to 11 a.m. This event is taking place at the Secum Lake Park parking lot on 7th Street between North Sierra Way and North Waterman Avenue. Residents may drop off unwanted items such as appliances, mattresses, tires, broken furniture, tree limbs, and electronic waste, including printers and TVs. This event is for household refuse only. Be prepared to show proof of residency with a driver's license or a gas, electric, water bill, or a bill from Burtec. The Tai Chi Mobile Food Pantry is coming to town. They are scheduled to be at Indian Springs High School on Sunday, June 25th from 9 to 11 a.m. and at Jones Elementary School on Monday, June 26th from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. This is a free food distribution, so groceries will be limited on a first-come, first-served basis. Indian Springs is located at 650 North Del Rosa Drive, and Jones Elementary School is located at 700 North F Street. For additional information, you can call 909-447-7799, extension 455. And finally, on Tuesday, June 27th, there will be a police and youth town hall meeting from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Club of San Bernardino, located at 1180 West 9th Street. To register for this event, visit eventbrite.com and search San Bernardino Police and Youth. This event is proudly sponsored by the San Bernardino Police Department, the Young Visionaries, and the Youth Action Project. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Barrios.
Thank you, Mayor. Not too many announcements today. On Wednesday, June 28th at 9 a.m., there's the San Bernardino Police Department Southwest District Coffee with a Cop at Michael's Burgers, 940 West Highland Avenue. For more information, contact Lean Hearts. at 909-384-5694. I was able to go today and take a tour of the reservation of Salmon Well, and I just wanted to thank Lynn Valbuena, who's the chairwoman for the board up there, and the whole entire staff and other board members for taking the time to show myself and council members and the mayor from Highland were there as well, and for hosting us today to share with us their culture and their roots and where they come from. And last but not least, I wanted to wish everybody a happy and very safe, patriotic 4th of July. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Shred.
Thank you, Mayor. Two quick ones. Wildwood Neighborhood Cluster Association, or Neighborhood Association, is going to have their cleanup of Wildwood Park Saturday morning beginning at 7:30. I don't have all the details, but if you're in the area or want to rake some pine needles or leaves or pick up trash, Wildwood is really in great shape, being taken care of largely by our staff, but the Wildwood Neighborhood Group has really had an impact up there. So they'll be up there Saturday morning, this Saturday, whatever date that is, this coming Saturday, at 7:30 a.m. And then we have on a 40th Street Business Watch, or 40th Street Business Watch at the American Legion Post 777, 194 East 40th Street with Officer Clint Walton. It's generally it's a copy of what's going on down on South Arrowhead, and we're trying to get the business community. Anyone can come. It doesn't have to be a business owner, but it's largely focused at the business community there along the 40th Street corridor to talk with the police department about some of the issues and things that are going on up there, kind of band together to work out some of the issues and improve that 40th Street corridor. So again, that's Tuesday, June 27th at 9:30 a.m. They try to hold it to an hour, and that's at the American Legion Post 777 on 40th Street. And then just wanted to recognize a couple of our citizens that have passed away. Russ Bobbitt, brother of Gary Bobbitt and part of the Bobbitt family that's been here for so many years running Bobbitt Mortuary. Russ Bobbitt passed away June 14th. He hadn't been in the business for quite some time, but took over that business back in 1964 from his went to work with his father and grandfather, and was partners with his brother Gary Bobbitt for many years. Gary and Russ, dear close friends of mine, and certainly icons in this community from the business community. And then, of course, these are all things that were in the paper, but Carol Baker, wife of Neil Baker of Baker's Burgers, also passed away May 24th. She was born here in San Bernardino in 1927. She, of course, worked with her husband Neil in building the Baker Burgers franchise, and as well, she had her own Baker's Interiors and did a lot of interior decoration. Also a personal friend of mine and somebody that I did business with for many, many years. So just wanted to recognize those two lifelong citizens of San Bernardino, Carol Baker and Russell Bobbitt. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Nichol.
Just one announcement. This weekend will be the 31st annual 10-man triathlon. This year, unlike previous years where the triathlon has taken place on the campus of Cal State, this year it will take place at the Western Regional Little League. The race event start time is 7 a.m. sharp, so if you're interested in participating, there will be a triathlon that includes a 3.1-mile run, a 9-mile bike ride, and a 150-yard swim. There will also be a 5K run walk starting at 7 a.m. promptly, as well as a kids triathlon that starts after the sprint triathlon. If you can make it, come out, cheer on the athletes. This is actually a very big event in our city. It's something that attracts athletes from all across the country, and we've even had some from other parts of the world. What's that? 31st year. For more information, please visit the Tin Man website at www.rotarytinman.org. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Richard.
Thank you, Mayor. For all of those residents out there that are looking for a job, tomorrow, the County of San Bernardino Workforce Development Department, America's Job Center, is having their annual job fair at the National Orange Show from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Dress for success, dress for an interview. We have confirmed over 60 employers that are going to be there, most of them looking for full-time employers or employees. So please come on out, have your resume ready, and let's get that job, get that dream job. So that's tomorrow, June the 22nd, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the National Orange Show, 689 Southeast Street, San Bernardino. Okay, and on Saturday, June the 24th, Delman Heights Park Revitalization, they're going to have a park cleanup, and that's at 2969 North Flores Street, and that's going to be from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then on Saturday, June the 24th, the Young Visionaries Smart Youth Conference, Splash Kingdom Water Park, 1101 California Street, Redlands. Contact Lisa Harper at 909-723-1695. Then again, on Thursday, June the 27th, the San Bernardino Police and Youth Town Hall meeting is going to be held at the Boys and Girls Club of San Bernardino, 1180 West 9th Street. They want you to go on Eventbrite, which is www.eventbrite.com, and register so that way they'll know approximately how many people are coming. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Robideau.
Thank you, Mayor. Wednesday, June 28th, will be the 13th annual Dollars for Dogs at the Mexico Cafe at 892 East Highland Avenue. Again, it's a very rewarding affair for the canine units. And also, as a proud grandfather for the second time, I'd like to announce the arrival of Alois David Oberholzer, 6 pounds, 9 ounces, 19 inches long, arrived 2 weeks early. And daughter Carolyn and husband David did not have anything packed yet, and they quickly realized that they needed some suitcases ready for themselves. So he arrived last Monday morning at about 1:02. I like his style, though. You know, wants to get on with it. No hanging around. So again, that's it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
Thank you.
City Manager? City Attorney?
I have a really quick report I want to make. Won't take me more than a minute. I just want to report that we are through with our shredding project, the document destruction project that was in line with the move of City Hall, because we could not get rid of a document since 2012. And we actually, it's completed now, and we had approximately a little under 5,000 boxes, about 61 tons of papers, VHS, things like that were destroyed. And I just wanted to let you guys know.
Thank you. Sadly, I report today that Professor Emeritus Tepi Ram passed away. Many in the world knew him as an internationally and nationally recognized consultant, educator, and businessman. But we here in San Bernardino remember him as a beloved professor, dedicated member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and an example of sincerity and compassion in the San Bernardino community. Professor Ram dedicated the past 36 years of his life teaching at Cal State San Bernardino. I extend, along with the council, our sincere condolences to his loved ones and extend our request that we pay this tribute to his friends and colleagues to provide a kind act of service today in his memory. Let us continue the legacy of generosity in honor of Professor Rahm. Tonight's meeting will be adjourned in memory of Professor Tapi Rahm. This meeting is adjourned until July 5th, 2015, at 1 p.m. What did I say? 15?
You want to go back into bankruptcy?
I stand corrected. This meeting is adjourned until Wednesday, July 5th, 2017, at 1 p.m. Drive safely.